The ancient Hebrew pictograph matters for understanding scriptures. If you do not have basic understanding of the ancient Hebrew pictograph, right? Yes, if you do not have understanding of the ancient Hebrew pictograph language, and you do not have, you do not know the culture, because the culture is in the language. Language and culture go together. If you do not have those basic knowledge, there is 100% possibility that you will misinterpret scriptures. You will twist the text for your own destruction. I'm like, this is fact. I'm not sugarcoating it. It's just a fact. There is no way you will be able to get proper understanding of the holy text if you do not have basic knowledge of the ancient Hebrew, how they think, how they reason, the pictograph, the language, and just those basic understanding will actually be the light that will expose you to the knowledge of the scriptures. It's very, very important. So that is the purpose for this video. The Hebrew expose what the English, what translation hide. You know what I'm saying? The English translation hides a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? But through reading the scriptures, reading the scriptures through the lens of the Hebrew would expose everything, and you will be blessed. That's the purpose for this channel, and the purpose for this video, and the purpose for the videos we are going to make. The purpose is to make sure that you get the truth. You know the truth, because the scripture says only the truth can set you free. Some of us do not understand how the language we speak shape our thinking, and shape our behavior, and shape our lifestyle, right? So, and majority of the world population speaks most of this modern language, like English, Spanish, German, French, and all that, maybe Latin. A lot of people do not understand that how we are speaking today and how we are reasoning and how we are talking is total opposite, or total different from how the ancient people used to think. So that way, some of us with this modern mindset, with modern way of thinking and modern languages, would try to interpret the ancient text without having the knowledge of how the ancient people think. This information is out there, right? It might not be as popular as, but the information is out there. It's just that so many people know about it, but they don't want to talk about it, right? Because they do not want a lot of people to know the truth. So we are here to tell the truth. Truth, nothing but the truth of the scriptures. So let me start with this. I'm going to read something from one of the resources that we use for study. Now, this, like I said, this is just introduction, right? This is just introduction to Hebrew language and alphabet, right? So now, you know, to begin to form words in any language, you need to first of all know the alphabet, right? In English, in kindergarten, or in some countries they call it basic 1. In my country, Nigeria, they call it primary 1. You know, when a child is in primary 1, the very first thing they teach the child is ABC, the alphabet, right? So now, after that, they will now, so for that child not to forget that what A looks like, or what letter is A, they will now use picture to represent. They will now use picture of object or something that start with letter A to represent A, right? For example, they said A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, D for dog. You get what I'm saying? So that way, when that child see the picture, it remember that that picture represents A. You get my point. Now, those people that these people that those people that designed that education system, or the people that invented that idea, they did not just wake up one day and decided to have that idea. No, they stole it somewhere. Or let me not sound controversial. Let me sound let me speak well, right? They took that idea from the ancient Hebrew, right? That is how Hebrew is. So now, in all the words you see in the scriptures, in ancient Hebrew, they are pictures and they are image, like there are pictures behind all the words. You know what I'm saying? So it means that the Hebrew letters, I mean ancient, not modern, not Yiddish, not what they call paleo. I mean ancient Hebrew pictograph. Ancient Hebrew, the original Hebrew, the one that the Most High Yahuwah, the creator of the heaven and earth, give us directly from heaven. It's a picture, right? It gave us in a picture form. You know, picture speaks a lot. Give you illustration, give you description of reality, right? So that is how ancient picture is. Just the same way I mentioned ABC. So we are going to go through the 22 letters, but before then, we have to know the fundamentals. I have to lay down some foundations so that we'll not be confused. Please, I know this will be foreign to a lot of people. Please, I want you to pay attention and watch this video with an open mind, because we are going to unravel a lot of things. So like I said earlier, for you to be able to speak any language, you need to first of all know the alphabet, right? The in Hebrew is alphabet, so in English is alphabet. It sounds like the same thing, right? So we have to know the alphabet of the Hebrew. Then from there, we know how to join the words. You know what I'm saying? So that way, all the words you see in the scriptures, even the ones that you have to check dictionary, you have to check concordance, you get what I'm saying, to find the actual meaning of the words. Once you understand the pictograph and you're able to join them together, you get the concrete description or reality of the word. So that is how Hebrew is. Hebrew is a concrete word. So before then, like I said, I read something from a book written by a European named Jeff Benner. It's a lexicon. It would tell us the difference between. He would tell us the difference between ancient Hebrew thought and modern people, right? So and it will tell us the difference, and it will tell us how it affects our way of thinking. Like I said, the language you speak shape your thinking and shape your behavior. People in Europe, one of the people in Europe that laid down the foundation of colonization and imposing European culture and way of thinking and education on people, actually said this. His name, though I do not know why it's not as popular as Constantine. You know, after Constantine and the Roman Empire fell, you now have Catholic Church as the Catholic papal system, right, that represents the Roman Empire. So during that time, there was somebody that was a king. His name was Charlemagne. Yeah, Charlemagne. They said Holy Roman Emperor. As a matter of fact, it was the person that it was the how we see all the things that we see that European did, like colonization, imposing of culture on other people, all that behavior. I believe he was the person that laid that foundation. He was the person that laid down that foundation. So This is one of the code that they said attached to him. No, though there is no solid evidence that he was the one that made that statement. He said that having a second language is like having a second soul. I said that again. He said that having a second language is like possessing a second soul. Did you hear that? Now, if you go back to in Genesis, in the scriptures, we understand that it was our Heavenly Father that gave us soul, right? So that means our soul is our everything. This body is just a vessel that carries the soul. So it is the soul that controls the body, right? So that actually shows you that the language you speak shapes your thinking and shapes everything around you and shapes all your reasoning. So, and if the scriptures tell us that in the last days, in the book of Zephaniah, the Most High tells us that in the last days, He will return back to His people a pure language, so that they will all in one consent call His name, call the name of Yahuwah. So, for the fact that He said that He's going to return back to pure language, it means that all the languages will be corrupt before that time. So it is necessary for us to go into the ancient Hebrew. So that being said, let me proceed with the reading. Okay, now this is the title of the book is The Ancient Hebrew Lexicon of the Bible. You can get the hard copy or the PDF on Amazon. That's where you can get it. The Ancient Hebrew Lexicon of the Bible. The name of the writer is Jeff Benner. You know what I'm saying? He's an American, right? So he will tell us it will give us a background or foundation of ancient Hebrew thoughts. So I'm going to read it. I'll try to put it on the screen if I can. Ancient Hebrew thought. The definition of a word is going to be directly related to the culture in which that word is being used. One word may have different meanings depending on the culture that is using it. In order to place the correct context to a Hebrew word from the ancient Hebrew language, one must first understand ancient Hebrew thoughts. Now, abstract and concrete. So there are two thoughts. We have abstract thought and concrete thought. Greek thought fill the world through the mind. Abstract thought. Ancient Hebrew thought fill the world through the sense. Concrete thought. Now, if you notice that I did not say English fill the world through their mind, you used Greek. Why? Because should I say Greek is the grandfather or is the father of English. What that means? What that means is that all the English words, if you want to find out like deep meaning of like this real meaning of any word, any English word, it will always take you back to Greek or Latin. You know what I'm saying? So, as a matter of fact, based on a lot of studies, English is not like a language. You know what I'm saying? It was like something that they created for communication purpose. Like some call it lingua franca, like lingua franca. You know what I'm saying? So English is considered to be lingua franca. I'll give you an example of lingua franca, right? I know a lot of countries speak what we understand as broken English, or we call it pidgin English, right? Here in Nigeria, the most spoken language, everyday language, is pidgin English, right? But in any documents, official documents here, we are not using pidgin English. We are using English. So why? Because pidgin English is you use pidgin English to communicate You get what I'm saying? Because we have different tribes. You get what I'm saying? So that way, pidgin English is or broken English is what everybody from every tribe understands. So that is the language that rules Nigeria, both in terms of trade or anything. So it's the language that when you speak, everybody understands. Not just Nigeria. If I go to Ghana, I did not hear any Ghanaian language, right? Ghanaian do speak English and pidgin, right? Now, if I do not hear pidgin, if I do not hear English, I can use pidgin to communicate with Ghanaians. They will understand me. So you get what I'm saying? So though the pidgin is not official language, it's not language that has like people. It doesn't have actual people that like that originated the language, right? But everybody speaks it, right? Why? For communication purpose. So English is considered that way. So English is not language that like originated from maybe from people from ancient speakers. You know what I'm saying? It's just a modern day language that was formed for communication. So that is what lingua franca is. So that being said, I was just trying to lay down the reason why the writer of this book is not saying English thought. You know what I'm saying? It's using Greek because English and the Greeks and the English, that's still all European. You know what I'm saying? What he's trying to say, as a matter of fact, what he's saying in general is he's talking about Europeans. You know what I'm saying? Because how we are living now, or how the way of life now is Europeans, right? So it was Europeans that went out to conquer the world, to colonize the world, impose their culture on people, right? So now everybody tend to think and reason and live like Europeans. You get what I'm saying? So that's what he's trying to say. That's what he's trying to tell us. Let me continue. I have to start over again. Greek thought views the world through the mind, abstract thought. Ancient Hebrew thought views the world through the sense, concrete thought. Okay, explanation. Concrete thought is the expression of concepts and ideas in the ways that can be seen, touched, smelled, tasted, or heard. Let me read that again. Concrete thought is the expression of concepts and ideas in ways that can be seen, touched, smelled, tasted, or heard. All 5 of these senses are used when, please listen, when speaking, hearing, writing, and reading the Hebrew language. He will go ahead and give us action example. An example of this can be found in Psalm chapter 1 verse 3. He is like a tree planted by the streams of water, which yields its fruit in seasons, and whose leaf does not wither. In this passage, the author expresses his thoughts in a concrete terms such as tree, streams of water, fruit, and leaf. So you can see the example he give us that the ancient Hebrew were concrete people. You can see that example in the greatest of the greatest teacher, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah. Whenever he was teaching, he always used things that the people, the audience, were able to relate to, things that they see every day by day, things that was connected to their lifestyle, like things like labor and work, things like animal servant, things that they relate to, things that they could see every day, things that they could see, smell, and touch. So now you understand the difference. Now you understand how the ancient people think. So now, if you notice, he said when reading, writing Hebrew, you need to have this kind of thought in you, that you have to have this kind of mindset in you. So now the people who wrote the scriptures have this kind of mindset, right? So what kind of mindset do we have? Let me continue. Now, abstract thought. Abstract thought is the expression of concepts, ideas in ways that cannot be seen, touched, smelled, tasted, or heard. Examples of abstract thought can be found in Psalms 103, Psalms chapter 103, verse 8. They use the Lord. Okay, let me just but the right word there is Yahuwah is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. He went ahead to give us explanation. The words compassion, grace, anger, and love are all abstract words, ideas that cannot be experienced by the sense. Why do we find these abstract words in a passage of concrete thinking Hebrew? Actually, these are abstract words used to translate the original Hebrew concrete words. The translators often translate this way because the original Hebrew make no sense when literally translated into English. Now, he said that the original Hebrew make no sense to his translators. Why? Because it wasn't their culture, right? So they did not have the idea of the ancient Hebrew culture. So that way, when they were translating the script, you get what I'm saying? They just choose to leave a lot of things, or just make it sound like European, right? So when they were translating the script, they tend to like just, because they don't want to deal with the problem, you know what I'm saying? And also there was an agenda behind it, right? One of the agenda was to make this text look like European text, look like English book, you know what I'm saying? Because they hijack it, you know what I'm saying? So when they were translating it, they did not know the Hebrew culture, and to change something from one language to the other would not make sense to you. Why? Because your culture are different. Not like you see in the beginning of the books, that one word may have different meaning depending on the culture and different understanding, right? I remember why I said that how you think and how you reason, that the language you speak shapes your way of thinking and your way of living. So in their own way of living, some things in Hebrew didn't make any sense to them. So that way they have to fix the problem by putting European ideas into it. So now you see why a lot of people twist scriptures to their own understanding. So that what that means is that, see those words like compassionate, grace, anger, so you can always trace them back to ancient Hebrew concrete thoughts. It means that you can trace it back to its original concrete form, that you have to be a pictograph later that you join together and you get reality of that word. So I hope you guys are with me. If you are not with me, you will understand later. This is just an introduction to ancient Hebrew thought. The reason why I'm making this video and the reason why I'm doing this, because I am going somewhere. There have been a lot of doctrine and teachings of devils. You know what I'm saying? So I must first of all let everyone, all the Bible students, those who love Yahuwah, those who live in the truth, and everybody else who studies the scriptures, I must be a tongue crier, or I'm looking for the right word to use. I must be the voice to voice out, to let them know that they have been reading scripture wrongly. If you have been studying, reading scripture with no knowledge of the ancient Hebrew at all. I do not care how many years you have spent in seminary, in seminary school, or how many years you believe you have been studying the scriptures, or your theology degrees. I will tell you this, I will say it again and again and again. You have been reading the scriptures wrongly. That's just the truth. If you do not have basic knowledge of the ancient Hebrew way of thinking, of ancient Hebrew thought, no matter how many years you have been teaching, you have been preaching, you have been reading the scriptures, you have been reading it wrongly. So that being said, let me go ahead with the book. Like I said, the title of the book is The Ancient Hebrew Lexicon of the Bible. The writer of the book, the name of the writer of the book is Jeff Benner. Jeff A. Benner. What I'm saying. I think he owned a website that said Ancient Hebrew Research Study, something like that. Normally, I do not recommend book for people. You know why? Because these people, they have this information, but they do not like put the full information. You know what I'm saying? They will put half of information, like they will put out the information in a way that the people that give them the information instruct them to. You know what I'm saying? They will not put it out the way it's supposed to be put out. Why am I saying that? Because this book here, the writer said the ancient people, as if those people do not exist. Now, if you go back to the scriptures and understand the ancient Israelites, you will understand that they were much, they were many, they were millions. So, if you study the book of, I believe, book of 1 Samuel or 2 Samuel, you see that at a point when David was a king, right? At a point, he made census, right? He conducted a census of the soldiers of the army alone, and that time they have over 1 million military personnel in Israel. That was how big the nation was. For a nation to have over 1 million military personnel, that means that the population was huge, right? So now, nation that big, that means if you sum up the total population of the nation that time, it would have been up to 100 million or 150 million or 200 million in population in total of the total population of the ancient 12 tribes of Israel during the time of King David. For them to have, because for them to be able to have up to 1 million military personnel, it means that the population was huge. Now, imagine a nation with that number of population now suddenly become ancient. It's as if those people doesn't live anymore. Meanwhile, in all over the world, all over all the country, mostly in Africa, right, we have people who live and who still embrace this way of thought, right? Who still speak, write, listen, and express themselves in this concrete terms. So, and the writer of this book will not tell me that he is not aware of that, but when he was trying to present this information, it sounds like those people do not exist again. So that is the reason why I do not like to recommend book for people. So for the fact that I recommend this one, I will tell you this. When you are reading it, right, just be careful. You get what I'm saying? Be careful with the information, cherry pick it. So because it could have directed people to some tribes in Africa who are still embracing this way of thought. Some of these people are even still in America, everywhere. So for the fact that it makes it look like these people doesn't exist anymore, like this book just, like this thought or this information just come out of a moon, is questionable, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. The point I'm trying to make is whatever book or resource I recommend for you, I want you to know that it was written by man, right? So in as much as there is some valuable information there, you have to be very careful with the information. Any information that you see that contradicts the scriptures or contradicts your thinking, you have to put that information away. So you have to cherry pick the information. You know what I'm saying? So let me continue. You see, it give us ancient Hebrew thought and um, versus concrete ancient Hebrew thought versus Greek thought. Now, how they see things. Now, we have concrete and abstract. Now, appearance versus form. He said appearance and functional description. I'm still reading the book. Greek thought describes object in relation to its appearance. Hebrew thought describes objects in relation to its function. Like I said, a Greek description of a common pencil would be it is yellow and about 8 inches long. A Hebrew description of pencil would be related to its function, such as I write words with it. You know what I'm saying? Hebrew is about function, not form. Function first, because Hebrew is a action word. It's an action language. Let me just put it that way. A Hebrew description of a pencil would be related to its function, such as I write words with it. Notice that the Hebrew description used the verb write, while the Greek description used the adjectives yellow, long, because Hebrew forms of functional description. Verbs are used much more frequently than adjectives. We'll see that more in future. Like I said earlier, the purpose is to tell you about the 22 Hebrew letters, the foundation, the alphabet, and the fundamentals, and how to use it. Then from there, we'll be able to form words. You know what I'm saying? We'll be able to form words from the alphabet. Alphabet first, then from the alphabet, you join letters to form words, right? Then you see the meaning of the word. The video is so much long already, so I have to do part 2 of the video. Please do not forget to like, share, comment, and share your thoughts in the comment section. And if you have any knowledge of the Hebrew, please don't hesitate to contribute in the comment section. We are here to learn and study together. And if you have any question, you can reach out to us through our email. I will add the email in the description box, so you can contact us. Ask your question based on scriptures, based on anything that has to do with the scriptures or the Hebrew language or anything. You are free to reach out to us. Until then, remain blessed. See you in part 2. Shalom.